E-mountain bikes are already coming in a few different shapes and sizes. We're seeing cross-country e-bikes, we're seeing downhill e-bikes and enduro e-bikes. But how much travel do you actually need for your ride? Well, we've come here to Molini in Italy to a track that is said to have it all. We've also brought along a 150mm e-bike to see if that is the sweet spot for e-mountain biking. So we're doing exactly that. For the ride today, I've brought along my Specialized Levo. That's 150mm travel. This bike is said to do it all. This is the Agrifoglio trail here in Molini. Starts off with some steep tech downhill sections into some tech climbs. It's got some flat cross-country style sections as well as some flat out single track with some switchbacks. It literally has got it all. It's going to be the ultimate test to find out if 150mm is the sweet spot. Right, so we're kicking things off with a big tarmac climb to the top of the hill. It's going to take 20 minutes or so of pedaling to get up there. Then we're going to drop in to see how this bike handles. So why might 150mm be the sweet spot? What is that in comparison to? Let's take a look at the different aspects of e-bikes to try and answer this question. When it comes to climbing, suspension travel doesn't necessarily make a bike faster or slower. Rider weight plays a massive part to the speed you can climb the hill. The lighter you are, the faster you go. Also, a bigger travel bike with a different motor may be faster than a short travel bike from a different manufacturer. Whew, that's the nasty climb out the way. Now this is what I'm looking forward to. We're going to find out if this bike's going to be out of its limit on the technical stuff, or is it going to be better to pedal than a traditional short travel bike on those flatter sections. Only one way to find out. Let's hit it. Shredding natural trails is where the 150 bike is really at home. It's sharp handling, quick to pick up over obstacles, and it's fast to respond to differences in the trails. It's also super lightweight, so you can make rapid direction changes. For shredding natural trails fast, the 150mm bike is definitely king. So where on the trail will a 150mm bike outperform a shorter travel bike? It's in the nasty terrain where things, if they should get on the edge, the bigger travel bike will offer more control. It's going to eat up every rock and root in its stride. Wow, I'm literally blown away by how good this trail is. It's been a really good mix of enduro style upper section on it. We've got tech, we've got some nice climbs, we've got some secret local lines on the inside. It really is a good mix up. Now going back to the bikes, I think if I was riding that stuff on a big 180mm travel downhill style bike, I'd be a little bit desensitized. I'd be a little bit over biked for that upper section. However, there's some more radness on this trail, so I'm going to drop in and get going. When it comes to going down the hill, on proper rough ground at high speed, big travel bikes in the 180 to 200mm travel camp simply cannot be beaten. Slack head angles, dual crown forks, long wheelbase and a more progressive suspension design will all add to the mix to create that magic carpet ride feel, which can lead to a lazier ride feel and maybe not the ride sensation you're after on a big day out in the hills. One thing that is going to affect the technical climbing ability of your e-mountain bike is the geometry of it. Chainstay length and seat tube angles make the difference on the climbs. Head tube angles and bottom bracket heights all come into play too, as to how that bike will feel and respond to the trail you're riding. It's not all about just the travel. Travel bike will also increase confidence on the most technical of terrain and the biggest of hits. It's also going to offer a safety cushion should things get out of shape. So when the speed picks up on that single track with the repeated hits over and over again, ranging from small hits to medium hits, is when you might want to think about getting a bigger travel suspension bike. Something like the 180 200mm bike would be in its element there. It would give you the confidence to turn it up one click and hit that bit of trail faster. I think with a 150 bike, it's bang in the middle, although you are reaching its upper limits, especially when those hits get bigger and bigger. And I think if you're on a shorter travel bike, you would be surpassing its limits, and that sort of riding would be totally feeling like you're out of control. Every single bump would be coming through the bike and therefore decreasing your confidence and slowing you down on those flat out sections. You simply cannot match the agility of a 150mm travel bike in terrain like this. Steep switchbacks, pretty gnarly on any bike, but on a big travel downhill style bike with dual crown forks, you're gonna get a bit of steering lock going on there. So unless you're really practiced, those turns become quite technical and quite hard. On the short travel bike, however, the fork is gonna be quite compressed, the head angle is gonna be super steep, and it's gonna leave your weight being pitched towards the front of the bike. However, on the 150 bike, you've got that little longer fork on there, so it's going to sit you back, increase your confidence in those turns, and you've got a single crown fork, so you can turn on full lock and really get steep into those switchbacks. When it comes to getting the wheels off the ground on your e-bike, sure, you can do it on the short travel and the long travel bikes, but if you're riding a short travel bike on flowy bike parking features, you've got to be pretty dialed in, because any messed up landing is going to see you landing pretty hard and bottoming that suspension out and maybe breaking a few components. On the other hand, if you're riding a big travel bike, it takes quite a lot of energy to get those bikes in the air. However, once they are in the air, they are super stable and really good at big jumps. However, more flowy style, single track style jumps, 150mm travel bike simply pops off those lips, really controllable. It is the best of both worlds. You've got a lightweight bike, which is poppy, which also gives you a little bit more confidence. So I think a 150mm travel bike for getting the wheels off the ground on standard size jumps is definitely the one. Wow, now that trail definitely ticked all the boxes. We had some epic downhill sections, we had tech downhill, we had some technical climbs, we had cross-country style climbs, loads of tech stuff on there, really enjoyed it. We even had some jumps on that final section. So I think it's about time we go grab a gelato and have a think about this bike. Big travel bikes may seem very attractive, but as great fun as they are in the right scenario, you really need to ask yourself, do you need all that travel? They literally eat up the terrain and can dull down the ride sensation, making the ride that little bit less lively. They can also make learning basic bike skills that little bit harder. One of the main things to consider when choosing to travel on your bike is to consider what type of riding you do mostly. If you're a rider that favours smashing downhills and big jumps over crunching miles, then a big travel bike will suit you perfectly. If you're heading to the hills for big day out adventures on more cross-country style rides and tamer terrain, then a short travel bike could be just a ticket. But if you're one of the riders who likes to dabble in a bit of both, then a 150mm bike could be the perfect match for your riding. It's the best of both worlds. So there you go, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. Is 150mm the sweet spot for e-mountain bikes? I certainly think it is. But if you guys want to get involved and let us know what you think the sweet spot for eMTB travel is, let us know down below in the comments. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. If you want to stick around and check out another video from here in Molini, Italy, plenty that Steve has done, check this one out down here. Don't forget to click the globe in the middle of the screen to subscribe to EMBN, and whilst you're there, hit that notification bell to get notification every time we upload here on the channel to make sure you're not missing out. Cheers guys.